Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my April 2019 horoscope report for you, where I will give you the need-to-knows for your sign, as well as talk extensively about the general transit energies, the conflicts between them, where they're rolling together, and how you can best use this knowledge of the energies to have the most graceful, productive month possible. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, where you can check out my blog. Among other things, I have every month things about the new moon, the full moon, and how best to use those wonderful energies, and lots of other things there. If you'd like to book a live reading or sign up for my astrology apprenticeship program, you can also do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, which is an Amazon bestseller. So what's going on this month for you? I'm going to show you the charts that I used to figure out the information that's most important for you. So the layout of the rest of the video will be, we'll switch over to the visual of the charts. I'll show you in detail for the early, middle, and late degree placements, what you can expect for this month, important themes, and best ways to use the energy. Then we'll transition back. You'll see me back here on this video to talk about the general transits, and I'll give you the dates to note and all kinds of other things you need to know for this month. So let's go into those visuals now. Hello Aquarius friends. Okay, so let's look at the month of April 2019 for Aquarius. We're going to look at the charts. Some of the things that we talk about will be true for all early, middle, and late degree placements, but there will be some things that I differentiate out perhaps, and if that's the case, I want to make sure that you know where you are in this spectrum. So early Aquarius, you're pretty much the January born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle Aquarius, February 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. And late Aquarius, February 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. If you are wondering if this report is for you, if Aquarius is your moon or rising sign, then the answer is yes. The moon, the rising, the sun are all windows that we look out of the same house of our experience. And all of those views are happening at the same time. So the view through your moon sign, the view through your sun sign, and the view through your rising sign are all current, accurate part of the bigger picture. Okay, equally as important as each other. So let's use the middle degree chart to talk about what is going on for all early, middle, and late degree placements. And if there's anything I want to differentiate, I'll pull out the other charts. The big focus that I want to talk about this month for you all, well, there's two things. First, I want to talk about the general planetary energies and how that blends with yours. And then also I want to talk about the crowding of energies in the locations where they are and what that can bring. So we still have a predominance of some planets in Pisces here. These ones I just circled, Venus and Mercury, are short term. These ones are long term, so we're not going to talk about those right now. They're just kind of ongoing. But the mood, when things are watery, doesn't flow as well with Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy is logical. It's likes to focus on the mental planes, of course not limiting each of you, because each person is as complex as the universe itself. So to over-limit someone based on their sun sign would be a terrible idea, and I would never do that, and I definitely teach against that. However, there are aspects of our sun sign, or rising or moon, or whatever you're watching for, that are very true. And so the intellectual focus of Aquarius energy doesn't flow as well with this emotional focus. But if you can easily switch gears and reframe things, then you can go into this internal space that is being created by the Pisces placements and focus inward and more on the emotional space. Okay, so that's going to be part of the story. Now, the other part of the story is completely different, and this has to do with the sun moving into, well, it has already been in Aries, and then soon to follow, these planets are going to get to that space as well. So this month, we will have these planets, Venus and Mercury, that are in Pisces. They will move into Aries. And the Aries energy is really amazing for Aquarius. Fire and air flow together really beautifully. And these Aries aspects will make beautiful 60-degree angles, giving kisses to your Aquarius placement. So in general, you will have lots of boost from this month. the places where there is a massive amount of crowding, and this is true for early, middle, and late degree placements, is the first and second houses. You can see that big cluster there. The first house has to do with your image, your physical body, and health, your things relating to your physical body, how you put yourself out into the world, what you call yourself, how you see yourself, how other people see you. And the second house has to do with money. So there's a huge money focus this month. Now, it's not just money, it's resources in general, the values relating to those resources. But of those things, actually, money is one of them. So making more money, investigating, your money scene, budgeting, doing anything with figuring out, evaluating where you're at financially and figuring out where you want to go and getting a plan together. Addressing concerns, shifting things around, seeing if your values match with the time spent. And this is a very important question, and I always think of this when I see crowding in this area. Many people that I know who have jobs that keep them very busy will say that their priority is their family, which is why they're working to make the money so they can take care of their family. And I understand that one. At the same time, sometimes we get carried away with putting overemphasis on the material part of family care or care of ourselves or whatever the circumstance is. So if you're spending 80 hours a week working, then you're not seeing your family at all, but the family is the focus, then this energy crowding here might have you start to see if there are places where you can shift that ratio a little bit to get a little more balance. So that's going to be one of the quests here, is finding more balance. If you're not making enough money, then getting your efforts into gear as far as working more or getting a plan together. That could be how it focused, where the focus comes from. And for some people, it will be that they will change how they're using their resources. If you change how you're using your resources, you might not need to make any more money. You're just kind of moving stuff around. But that's very much the type of focus this month. Now, for my earth-loving people who love to be in sync with earth and nature, this energy can bring people back into focus with the natural rhythm of things. And I really like to focus a lot on rhythm with my astrology work because there are natural rhythms that are at play. And the more we sync up with the natural rhythms, the easier things can be. So if you are a person who would like to spend more time on the land, making things with your hands, doing things of that sort of nature, and maybe you're putting those off for the future, this type of energy coming in can help you start to see how maybe you can start sprinkling those things in now. And for some of you, it could just be like a major change where you're leaving your job and now you're going to work on a farm or something drastic like that. But there's a whole bunch of different ways that can manifest. But in any case, the story of money and resources is very much in the picture in a big way. Let's take a look at Mars. Mars is not doing what the other planets are doing right now. Okay, so you early degree placements, you have Mars in the 4th house. You middle degree placements have Mars in or just about to be in the 4th house, depending on your placement. And you late degree people, Mars will be very shortly moving into the 4th house. Okay, so what does that mean? That can make people really restless as it relates to their home. Mars energy, I always call it the border collie of the zodiac. If you've ever been around border collies, you understand. They are ready for action. They're restless. They pant. Their cortisol levels are very high. And they like to be busy and they like to be mentally engaged. And that's the energy of Gemini in general. So, and Mars rules action. Okay, so here we've got this 4th house being influenced for early, middle, and late degree placements. Many people will move during this time. I see this is a trigger for moves very often, Mars in the 4th house. For those of you who can't move, you may be feeling like that age-old question is coming back again. When can I move? I want to move. Chomping at the bit, where you're getting, feisty and really feeling like you need to make some changes in your home space. For those of you who love where you live or have to stay there, you may get really focused on clearing up your home space and doing home projects, making it more homey, settling into your house more and using that restless energy to clear things up, to organize, to declutter, to do home improvement things. So this is a really good time for that energy. Also, things involving family could be super busy, or you could be traveling to see family and family could be traveling to see you. It's just kind of like a very busy energy as it relates to home and family. So those are the things that are most on my mind specifically for Aquarius. Now I want to talk about some very important things related to the general transits that you really need to know, because I didn't go over this at length anywhere, and there are certain awkward but important and notable energies that are at play this month that I want to help you to navigate well. So let's look at that now. So the theme for April 2019 for the general transits is the urge for action, but ... And I will explain in detail as to why I'm calling it that. So the astrological new year begins at the end of March each year, and at that time, the sun moves into Aries, which is the astrological new year. Shortly after, or sometimes coinciding with, in this case, shortly after the sun moves into Aries, other personal planets, meaning the ones that are closest to us, start moving into Aries. So the sun will start out the month in Aries. Midway into the month, we'll have Mercury, then Venus is going to follow shortly after in Aries. So all of this action energy will make you want to do something. So adding to the drive for action, Mars is going to be in Gemini. Mars is how we use our energy, and Gemini is all over the place. And it's always really busy. It's thinking, it's talking, it's doing, and it's restless. So we've got Aries energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac. We've got Gemini energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac, combining together, and people are going to want to talk and move around and go places and do things. Plus, we will have just gotten out of a watery, Mercury retrograde covered month of March, and people are going to be ready for some action. So this energy all combined can be great for getting things done, but there is a hurriedness about it, and a recklessness, and sometimes not paying attention. So it increases the chances for accidents or doing something, slip-ups in ways that aren't positive. So you definitely want to be more careful, pay more attention, add some breath, add some consciousness to all of this oomph energy, because you really need to take more caution. This month carries some awkwardness in the way that, although we have all this fire energy and then the important air energy in the Gemini, there will be all of this like pent-up energy to do things, but because there's still energy in Pisces that's transitioning over, this water energy, specifically in Pisces, can bring more of an abstractness, like an uncertainty, an inner focus, and just really not feeling sure. So when you have the combination of like, you need to do something, but you don't know exactly what to do, then that can cause a lot of wasted energy, just putting a whole bunch of energy into something, and then a couple of weeks later realizing, as the Mercury retrograde post-shadow transit energies shift mid-month, that actually the direction is completely different. So you're going to be chomping at the bit at the beginning of April and say, oh, Mercury is direct, time to do stuff. But I really want you to hear that in that first couple of weeks, try to find your certainty before you take action and commit. Mid-month is much better for committing, it's much better for certainty, it's much better for clarity. So the more that you can be sure about what you're doing instead of doing for the sake of itself, the better. And the more you can tune into the inspired action rather than action just for the sake of itself. So like tuning into what spirit wants you to do rather than you just being so whacked out that you have to do something. So, going to the gym, exercising, doing things that can get this energy out. But of course, be careful when you're doing those things as well, that it's not too aggressive and you don't hurt yourself. So definitely watch the signs and the synchronicities closely, because those will be the things that can help match you with the best path. The other thing that's going on this month is that Jupiter is moving into retrograde, and it's going to be there for months, okay? And when this happens, the expansion frenzy that was occurring before then starts to stop, basically. And sensitive people may have felt this even earlier, because there is a pre-retrograde transit shadow transit before Jupiter goes retrograde as well. So if you're finding that even in the open window of February, the end of January and February, if you were starting to slow down, your ambitions were starting to slow down, that could have been Jupiter getting ready to go into retrograde. And so during this time, having kind of a break from the long unbridled expansion spree can be of benefit, because you can take stock and evaluate. So pulling in carefully to evaluate the next steps is a really good move. It doesn't mean you can't do anything or shouldn't do anything. It just means if you naturally are losing your ambitions, then don't be concerned when Jupiter, it will come back, basically. Definitely economy of energy utilization is called for now. That's one of the things that Jupiter, especially in Sag, really wants when it goes into retrograde, is how you are spreading yourself thin and how you can condense your efforts so that you can be much more productive. So basically, fewer brilliantly placed actions that are supported by inner certainty are much better this month than just crazy haphazard action for the sake of itself. I really love this time for spring or down under fall cleaning, and I definitely love Marie Kondo's message to release anything that doesn't spark joy. This way you have surroundings and everything in your life with things only that spark joy. She's got 2 amazing books that I highly recommend, and this is an amazing time for taking action on things like that. Definitely vision boards are well supported at this time. So the new year, the astrological new year started at the end of March 20th, when the sun moved into Aries. But the New Year's kickoff party is when the new moon in Aries happens, which is on April 5th. So that's one of the best days of the whole year for a vision board, and the days around there and this time, it's really great for putting things together to help you figure out what you want to create this year. It's a really wonderful time for planting seeds. Something interesting about this month is that most of the days that have sweet aspects are completely coupled with days that have challenging aspects. So there's not as much of an easy time to say this time is good, this time is challenging. You know, we've got a few days right in the beginning of the month where there's a series of sweet aspects, but then pretty much for the rest of the month there's just like dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet. So just really tune in to how your personal flow is with these transits. That full moon on April 19th is definitely going to be very intense. It's a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, so like culmination of relationship things. So definitely look out for surprises then. There are some sweet aspects that go along with that full moon, and there's also some dicey ones that go along with that full moon, but definitely very intense. So if you want a detailed list of the dates of each of the aspects and what goes along with those, you can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. When you sign up for my free email newsletter, you also get access to my 28-day virtual coaching program, which is free when you sign up. So you can just go deep in with that, and then plus you'll get this written report in your inbox delivered a month early, so that you can have a visual understanding of what's coming. AnnieHelpsYou.com, you can book a live reading with me. You can check out my astrology apprenticeship program if you resonate with how I do astrology and you'd love to learn with me. I also have some other wonderful vocational support courses that you can take, as well as subliminals to help train your mind to create the life you want. I've got all kinds of other goodies on my site. If you'd like written reports, astrology reports, horoscopes from me, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com for monthly written horoscopes that often have different information than is in my videos. And there are other blogs there as well too, natural lifestyle blogs. So definitely check those things out, and you can check out my husband's website, iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. He always has very interesting goodies there, and he does tarot and astrology as well. So I would love for you to check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. This is an Amazon bestseller, and it is wonderful for anyone who really wants to shift their experience in life in a very simple but powerful way with this beautiful little book. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.